Hey, what's good, everybody? Welcome to another video. My name is Ted and I talk bass usually. Like I mentioned before, 2021, I want to diversify the channel a little bit, expand just a bit and talk about some stuff a little bit more than bass. And so the other day I put out a video talking about step sequencing and visualizing time and how programming drums can help not just bass players, but any musician really get a more of a visual understanding of time, musical time. So if you like this content, go on and hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. If you really want to support the channel, you can become a member by hitting the join button. You can support by buying a product with any one of the links below or an affiliate link, all that good stuff. Let's get into it. I'm supposed to be doing other things right now, my year-end house projects and stuff like that, but I started to play around with Logic a little bit. And so from scratch, I'm going to create a Minneapolis style, Prince style beat. And so we're using the step sequencer. So I've got an empty sequencer here. If you don't know, this is the latest version of Logic Pro. To create a pattern region, you just right click and click on pattern region, and then you'll get one of these yellowish, mustard yellow sections that will bring up the interface like you see here. I'm only using 3 tracks. I'm going to use some LM1 sounds from the Lindrum. I'm going to use a retro synth, which is a native Logic plugin, and also an OBX synth as well. Real simple. Going to be a 4-bar loop that I'll turn into an 8-bar loop. So first things first, when I think about like recreating this style, particularly the mid to late 80s style, we want to kick this tempo up to about 120. All right. And what I'm going to do now is put kicks on beat 1, beat 2, beat 3, and beat 4. There's our 4 on the floor kick. Right? Now, this is a 1-bar loop. 1 measure, 16 steps. Remember, we've got 4 columns, right? We've got 4 columns here, each column representing a beat. 4 squares in each column. Each one of those squares represents a 16th note. So we're right there on the kick. And I'm actually going to double the snares. I don't know why I did that. I'm going to put the snares on beat 2 and beat 4. So here's the pattern. Already very Princey sounding. So for the hi-hat, I'm just going to regular 8th note pattern. So we've got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And now before I program a long pattern, I just want to look at 1 measure at a time, so that some elements of this pattern are going to be in the next bar, and the next bar, and the next bar. So the things that I know are going to be solid, I want to keep them. Together. So let me just make sure that I have the things that I want. Okay, one of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to change the velocity on every other hi-hat, just to give it a little bit more of a human feel. Okay, let's turn this now into a 2-measure loop by just doubling the length. Now, the cool thing about Logic, I love Apple stuff. And I love Logic. It's just very, very intuitive. 32 steps. Now we have 2 measures. So I'm going to put that classic Prince clap on the last snare hit. Okay. Come on, what's a Prince groove without that knock sound? So where do we put that? 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4, and. So we'll put that on the and of 3 and the and of 4. We'll do the same thing in the next measure. There's beat 1, beat 2, beat 3, and beat 4. So it's on the ands. I think having it twice is a little too much, so I'll take it out there. Let's go back to the beginning. You know, just for grins, I'm going to put a tambourine on beat 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I'm also going to turn the volume down. I've got this template set up. You know, I spent a bit of time putting this together so I can just get to things quickly. Sounds pretty cool. So now I have a 2-measure loop. Now I don't know the magic behind this, but what, you know, however you program your drums, you know, Logic just kind of fits it into the space that you have looped. So 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 4. So it turned that 2-measure loop into a 4-measure loop automatically. Now I'm gonna add bass. We're going to do something similar to All the Critics Love You in New York. So it'll be an F minor thing. All the Critics is in D minor, but I'm going to do F minor. Let me open up the keyboard so you can see what notes. Slide this down. All right, so I'm going to open this keyboard so you can see the notes I'm playing. E flat, F, and A flat, which is the flat 7, the root, and the minor 3rd. So we're just going to do this All the Critics kind of pattern here. I'm not going to quantize that, just so it's has a more of a human feel. Now I'm going to double that with the OBX bass. See what that gets us. Real gritty, grimy. Sorry, let's start that from the beginning. Now I'm just going to raise the octave of that synth so I can get some higher sound. That's cool. All right, so just playing around with the idea. Now I've got that 4-bar loop. Let's take this, you know, if you don't know, if you hold Option and then click the section that you want and drag with Logic, you can just double apart. So now I have an 8-bar section And so I'll let that groove go for 8 bars. And then, oops, that didn't work that time. I'll take this 8-bar section. I made a marker there for some reason by accident. And two ways you can make this a little bit more visually, I don't know what I did just now to this section here. You can do you can put an arrangement marker. I changed the view somehow, and I don't know how I did it. That was an accident that I'll have to go back and reverse engineer. Or you can change the color, right? So sometimes I'll change the color of a region just so it's easier to look at. You know, here's the A section, here's the B section. So we changed that to purple. So we've got an A and a B section, and we'll keep the A section basic, and then we'll do that on the next section. What I'm going to do also is I want to duplicate this track, because I don't necessarily want all of that MIDI information in one section. I want to be able to take stuff out. Another thing that so I'll call this bass, I'll call this drums, and we'll keep that to OBX, and I'll call this chords. One thing that I like to do if I'm just working on an idea or actually making a song is, as I organize, I like to keep things visually like they are audibly, meaning the foundation, the drums on the bottom, bass, then layer it on, so it looks like it sounds. So here we go. Here's a section. A lot of space there in this style of music. Might have the guitar on top. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, if I'm working with just this section, another thing that I may do is, if I'm working with a section, I just want to loop that section. So is that very, very, very cliche Prince lick right there. So I am gonna add this right on there. I want to record this part again, just to get it a little bit better. Yeah. So A and a B section. Now, to get the more of that Prince sound, I can go in and add effects on the drums and stuff. Yeah. Now I want to show you something real quick. Is that let's loop these two bars here. So if I'm working with the F minor pentatonic scale and I want to harmonize that, then that's what I played the first time. The second time, if I add the minor third, the root, and the flat seven, that'll add us a cool, give us a cool harmony. So let's try that. So I just added another harmony on top of that. Anyway, nothing real super special today. Just creating a really quick Prince style beat and sharing it with you. I think, you know, when I was coming up, one of the things that I like to encourage people, whether they're playing bass or whatever, is like sometimes you have to go back and try to copy your influences, reverse engineer as best you can what it is that you like, to see what that's made of. You know, sometimes people give us a hard time about doing that kind of stuff, but that's how we learn how to speak. We learn how to speak by copying the people around us, right? So there's things that I say to this day at my age that sound like my father, right? Or I sound like my mother. You know, I'm sure you can relate. Like somebody said, "Oh, you sound just like your grandfather when you said that." You know, if you spent a bunch of time around your grandfather, of course that's what you sound like when you say certain things. So that's just, you know, that's how we learn. I think it's one of the best ways to learn these techniques and stuff like that. So anyway, I hope that you guys, I'm going to just go on and put this video out right now. So I hope that you all have a Merry Christmas. It is Christmas Eve 2020 right now. And so I hope that you're happy and safe and healthy and enjoying time with your family and stuff like that. So anyway, peace, two fingers. I will catch you in the next video. Hit that subscribe button. I'm coming to your house.